Hello interwebs! It's me again. Preparation from Vita, trying to do video at least every other day until August. And trying to think of something to do with all this back here as well, because chair and white space just doesn't seem that interesting. I think it needs like a poster or something back there, at least when I'm doing videos. But anyway, I am on here at this moment this evening, of course. Again, I'm going to try to start doing these during the day, because I hate this big white blob that just kind of sits there that I can't really fix, since I do most of my videos in here having roommates and all that fun stuff. And also to try to get these videos like shorter, because now they're out even side the screen. I want to try to get them about there. But what I want to do is, I read a really interesting article today. Probably I'm the only one that finds it interesting, so this video probably has a demographic of 1. But in all honesty, I read it, I found it was interesting, I thought I'd share it with you. And it was an article on what it means, essentially, to be a man in modern society. And I thought it was interesting because I was having a talk with my roommate M about it, and she felt the same way. Is that a lot of men nowadays have lost, I don't want to say manliness, because that sounds very machismo and very patriarchal, but it's not like that. They've just kind of lost the more gentlemanly qualities and traditions within what it meant back in the day to be a man. A great example of this is that when I did debate, I was probably one of the only people out of like 20 guys that knew how to tie a necktie, because it's not something that we need to do, and it takes too much time, so most guys just tie it once and leave it, and not just leave it there, which ruins the tie, but people don't think about that. Another thing that used to be a manly tradition would be shaving with a straight razor or a safety razor, to actually take the time and go through the steps and the process of doing these things. But now we just spray chemical gunk out of a can, rub it on our face, and shave with a razor that takes 3 seconds but completely destroys our face, which is why you see a lot of guys right after they shave, they've just got those red patches all over their face. It comes from convenience, from being too lazy to learn something that was passed down, that used to be passed down from father to son, and we've lost that. And I found it interesting, because it used to mean, to be a man, that you went to college, got married, had kids, died, and somewhere in there you got a job. But nowadays we don't have that, which is a good thing. We have the choice to stay single, we have the choice to get married and not have kids. When I took a sociology class a couple years ago, they talk about that this group called Dinks is on the rise, double income, no kids. Because people like to travel, and then people even don't get married. A lot of times they just stay together forever. I have friends like that now. They've been together for 10, 15 years, see no reason to get married. Some of them did just for the tax break. And so that's a really interesting thing. But I hear a lot of women I know talk about it, and I've talked about it before too, is that men more and more have what people like to refer to as a Peter Pan complex. They don't like to grow up. They don't like to move out and do something and become a mature person. We work customer service jobs because they're easy and they get by, because then we have more time to play video games or go out and drink at bars for no reason whatsoever. And although these things are fun, it has no productive value. And the article states that he believes that as a boy, before you become a man, you consume. That's what you do. You just consume like products and from your parents, and you don't have an independence. And then even now when you have an independence, most men today are still consuming. They're not doing anything. They're not putting anything out there, for lack of a better word. He states that men used to go to war, and now they play at war. Or men used to play instruments, and now they press 5 buttons on a controller. And he says that he's not so much he does have a problem with video games, but he doesn't see a problem with them recreationally, as long as you're still getting something done. He states that if you were to take as much time in playing that video game and getting a perfect score on, like, say, Guitar Hero or Rock Band, you could probably actually learn the real song on a real instrument. But instead, we don't feel the need to take time to do something that is creative. We feel the need to take time to do something that we consume and are fed information rather than giving it back. And that is why we are more interested in playing a game in which we play guitar than actually playing guitar. To actually play guitar, we would make mistakes in real life. We would make mistakes artistically instead of just something that you can hit restart on. And because of this, he believes that in order to become a man in modern society, where we don't have marriage, job, kids, death. It means to be able to put something back out there, to be able to create and not consume. And I believe that this hits the nail essentially on the head for anybody, not just men, but even I personally, and a lot of girls I know that have been through really just kind of janky relationships have always said that it's because it's not so much that he didn't do anything, it's just that what he did was the same thing that he did when he was 15, 16. And so I think that one of the main reasons that I'm going to do Vita and start this pop culture blog that I want to do, and then pick up a couple other just side notes, I've started working on my novel again, stuff like that, is because I feel it's the time to put something back out there that I've spent enough time taking, that I've spent enough time consuming and not actually creating. And so I think it's beyond and past the point in my life where I put myself out there to fail, I think is what it is. That I don't sit down and hang out with something that I can hit a restart button on. That I go out there and if I fail, that's it. I tried. But at least I tried to put something out there. I didn't sit back and let things go by and be happy buying things. That I actually took the time to challenge myself creatively. And at that point, I feel that I'll actually be doing something now. And I feel that this vlog here and Vita and trying to figure out about like putting myself kind of out there on the internet, getting into things that I like and have always talked about, and then starting the blog since I'm really interested in pop culture and giving my opinion on that in a public forum of which it is very easy to fail. And no matter how popular you get, you will still get people that tell you that you're wrong. And I think that maybe if I can get past that and even in the face of that failure keep going, then I think I'm on the right track. And so I just wanted to share that with you in hopes that, I don't know, really, just kind of wanted to put it out there. And so at this moment, right now, it's time to start creating. And so interwebs, I will see you hopefully before Vita starts, and to put more things out there, and to start living my life as a creator instead of a consumer.